Alright guys, welcome in. I'm going to be conducting a little test. Been really thinking a lot about upscaling 4K, DLSS, frame gen. Been watching a lot of benchmarks. I really enjoy that. I enjoy testing games myself and just watching other content creators do the same. I want to test for myself and see what everyone else thinks about DLAA. I think deep learning anti-aliasing with DLSS, NVIDIA's upscaling. I find DLAA kind of a waste of time, or quite frankly, just a 5090 feature. Now, I guess this is kind of in the context of a 4K performance benchmark, but I do think that it does bleed into 1440p. If you've got a 1440p monitor and you don't have a 4K monitor, and you've got something like a 5070 Ti or 5080, then you could use 1440p DLAA. I think that's perfectly fine. But I don't know. I want to do a little test and just kind of see what you guys think, because I've just been looking at DLAA, DLSS quality. So I'm just going to go through a couple of games here, and at the end of the video, I hope you guys take a look and determine for yourself if I'm just full of it, if you guys can see the sharpening, the better quality, the visual quality. If it makes a difference for you, that's great. But yeah, this is a question of, is DLAA worth it? Appreciate you guys coming in. Let's take a look. Alright guys, here we are in Hogwarts Legacy. This is actually my second recording, so I completely forgot that in this game, if you use ray reconstruction, you can't use ray reconstruction with DLAA. So since this is a DLAA quality and a DLSS performance comparison, we're not going to use ray reconstruction in this title and any other titles that would limit that ability. And we're getting stutters at the wazoo, so I think we already have our conclusion on if we should use DLAA. But anyway, let me go back through the settings here. 4K resolution, 3840 by 2160p. NVIDIA DLAA, like I said, native resolution with DLAA enabled. So the best anti-aliasing you can get. No frame gen on. I was going to use frame gen, but there doesn't seem to be a point. We are hitting, actually playable FPS. So no frame gen, no low latency mode, pretty much stock highest resolution settings you can get. And one of the things I do in this game, I do have effects quality on high, because ultra effects doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It's just a more optimal setting. And then view distance on high as well. I don't notice a difference, and it's just an more optimal setting. Ray tracing is on, the reflections are on, shadows, ambient occlusion, all that's on ultra, except for geometry high. It's actually more beneficial to the visuals, in my opinion, to combine reflections quality ultra with geometry quality high. Don't ask me why, it just looks better. But this is DLAA. And this is the most recent drivers. Alright, so we're hitting close to 60. Latency obviously is not a problem, but the stutters are very real. Very, very real. Yeah, and what really sparked my interest in this topic is the fact that DLAA, quality, balance, performance, and ultra performance are all an option. And now that we live in a world with preset M and preset L, with the performance and ultra performance presets, with those DLSS options, if you don't have a 5090, is there a point to having DLAA? We're getting under 60 FPS in a highly intensive area, a lot of foliage, lights. Once again, ray tracing is on. We don't have ray reconstruction on. We're getting quite a lot of stutters. That's probably just Unreal Engine 4 doing Unreal Engine things. But we're getting into the 30s now. And what I'm really looking at is image quality. I'm not really looking for the best performance, but at the same time, when it comes to image quality, especially with the foliage. Is DLAA worth playing under 60 FPS when you can definitely get a better experience playing quality? Does DLAA look any better to most people, to your eye, while you're playing a game than quality? So we turn quality on, and obviously 4K DLAA, you know, my card being a 5070 Ti, that wouldn't, this isn't what it would target, especially at 4K. It's very, very intensive. But what other cards would you use DLAA on if that gets rid of those stutters? Because if it gets rid of those stutters and the image quality is 95% there, which immediately, yeah, it's maybe it's a little softer in some of the foliage, but if I'm moving around playing the game, I won't notice it at all. To be honest, in a blind test, if you had to ask me which one was DLAA and which one was quality, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference. And we're in the 70s. The stutters are pretty much all gone. So we went from mid 40s, sometimes getting into the 30s, to 70. No upscaling, obviously. We're upscaling from 4040p to 4K, but no frame gen, no fake frame tricks. At the lowest that we're getting like mid to high 60s. There's no way I would choose to play this game at DLAA over quality. Now, if you got a 5080 and a 5090, I mean, if you got a 5090, then you can throw DLAA on. But are you honestly getting that much better image quality? Is it 5% better? Is it 10% better? Is it 20% better? I truly can't really tell a difference. All right, let's turn on performance mode. Once again, guys, I'm not big on balance. I don't really mess with that setting. I do use ultra performance, but we're not going to use ultra performance for this video. But yeah, we are rendering at 1080p now. This is DLSS performance. M preset has been activated, so we're on a different preset now. And I'm always extremely impressed by preset M on performance, because I would probably say that performance DLSS is the most frequent setting that I use. I've been slowly optimizing my games to get the GPU into that quality range, because there can be a pretty big difference between performance and quality, but in certain games it is extraordinarily hard to tell the difference. And like you're seeing here, I mean, we're getting a 120 FPS experience. Like I said, no ray reconstruction, but we do have full-on ray tracing. 120 FPS ray tracing. This wasn't something that was possible 3-4 years ago. And we're upscaling from a resolution of 1080p. Now, I know a lot of people have already discussed this, but again, if you have a choice between DLAA and performance DLSS, and you were given a if you were given, you know, these videos back to back, and you had to stake your life on figuring out which one was which, would you be sure that you could tell which one was which setting? Which one is DLAA and which one is performance? Which one is quality? I have a hard time. Now, if I'm being honest, the hair at the top of the character, you can see a little bit of the ghosting, you can see a little bit of fraying. So that is a telltale sign, but you have to really look. You have to really look and then turn the camera. You can see a little bit of a, not like a boiling, but like a fizzle on top of the hair. But just the regular textures on the trees, on the foliage, on the leaves, the rocks. Performance DLSS with preset M is just absolutely fantastic. And like I said, I mean, before we were hitting in the mid-30s, there's no way in hell I would play on DLAA. Even if I had a 5090, if I had a 5090, I'd probably be hitting 150 to 160 frames per second. If I'm getting 90 to 95% of the image quality, why do I need to play at native resolution? It just doesn't make sense to me. Maybe my eye is just not as good as these other guys who do these videos, but genuinely speaking, I mean, maybe with quality, I mean, even with quality, you're dropping you're losing 15 to 20 frames, and latency is not a problem here with these two presets. With K on preset K on quality and preset M on performance. But if I had to be honest, guys, I mean, I guess, you know, and I can tell there's less ghosting on the hair. And that's mainly where you see it, on top of the hair, on the character. That's where you mostly see a lot of this, a lot of the ghosting that can really frustrate people who use upscaling. And obviously it just gets exacerbated by frame gen. In Hogwarts Legacy, like I said, I mean, look at this. Even in quality in this area, that's a pretty undemanding scene. You're getting 120 FPS. So honestly, I'd probably choose quality just because if in certain areas you're going to get maybe 60 or 70 in the demanding scenes, but if you're running around like this and you're getting over 100, see, it goes down to 70. But if you're able to get over 100 in many spots in this kind of game, I'll just go with quality. I don't need 140 FPS. Alright, this is not an intensive area, so let's just turn on DLAA one more time. You're dropping into the 60s. 70s. 70s is good here. See, if the game performed like this, DLAA might stand a chance. But even here at the top of the hair, yeah, there's no ghosting. There is a difference between performance and DLAA, definitely. Definitely. But when it comes to quality, not so much. Oh yeah. So now we can actually see the whole landscape. Now we're in the mid 40s. Beautiful game. Game looks great. 2023 title, I believe. The updates that they got last year on this game, you know, truly push it to its limits. But yeah, mid 40s. Now, I assume if you're on a 5090, if you're on a 5090, then by all means go crazy with DLAA. Absolutely, go nuts. You spent the money, go ham sandwich. No problem with that. I mean, even a 5080, a 4090, maybe it would be in a class like the 5090. I just don't see a scenario where it's beneficial to have DLAA unless the game is specifically designed to be running around 40 FPS, which most games don't feel good at 40 FPS. And once again, guys, this is ray tracing. No ray reconstruction. Yeah, it won't drop below 60. I know Hogsmeade, the Hogsmeade area is supposed to be the most intensive area, so I haven't gotten there in this game yet. So let's just say with quality, maybe there's a chance it'll drop into the 60s. But there's no way in hell I play on DLAA. This is the way to go, for sure. Alright, well, let's go to the next game. Alright guys, welcome to Cyberpunk 2077. Alright, let's get right into the settings here. Alright, so let's go to the top. We are on my custom preset. NVIDIA DLAA is on. That's what we're going to start with. No frame gen, no ray reconstruction. Ray tracing is on, Psycho, but no path tracing. Definitely not doing that. These settings don't change the performance, and I will show you my customized, optimized settings. I'll use these settings for the entire benchmark in comparison for the three settings. We are going to start with DLAA, and of course we're at a resolution of 3840 by 2160. So let's go right into it. Alright, so here we are, nice city, running like a potato. Okay, so like I said, DLAA, we're in the low, well, we're in the 20s. We're below 30 FPS, so playable, debatable, but this is DLAA. We're here for the visuals. The performance is obviously just a no-go, but outside of that, the visuals, the image quality, I mean, it looks fantastic. I mean, we've got ray tracing, no path tracing. I actually do play this on path tracing. I am a DLSS performance fan, so I can we can play path tracing pretty much everything almost on ultra with performance DLSS, and that's usually how I play. But the game still looks great. But is this worth it? If you flip on quality DLSS, does it look essentially the same? I mean, I know for myself, like, there's no way I'd play like this. No way. And it begs the question, is DLAA a 5090 setting? Because DLAA in many games, and Cyberpunk is one of those games, it is just so demanding with any sort of ray tracing. Now, if I turned all the ray tracing off, there's a chance I could probably get 60 FPS. But this is a game that is begging for you to use ray tracing. It basically becomes a different game. And if you don't play with ray tracing with the... I mean, this is now... I mean, it sucks. It's a $1,000 GPU. Anything over a 5060 Ti is now a $1,000 GPU, which is sad to say, but that's the reality of the situation. It's not going to get any better, boys. Let's change this out. Let's get some better frames here. And you tell me if DLAA is ever worth the penalty in terms of image quality. I mean, even here we're getting 45, but this is definitely playable. So much of a difference between high 20s and mid 40s. I'm trying to see if there's any kind of ghosting on the gun, anything compared to DLAA. If you strapped me to the chair and told me I had to tell the difference between DLAA and quality, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I can't tell the difference. But yeah, we're getting upwards of mid 50s. I mean, you can enjoy yourself playing this for sure. Yeah, here, now we're in the car. .45 FPS in Cyberpunk. I'm gonna be honest. Without any frame gen, I mean, it's not a bad experience. I mean, like I said, I would love to play at over 60. Definitely gonna shoot for that, obviously, because we have options. But if I was forced to play like this, I could easily play the whole game like this. The game still looks great. Yeah, I mean, we're getting close to 50, but I mean, I don't tell a difference. Let's try some performance. Let's try performance DLSS. Very quick. Preset M is engaged. And now we're at glorious 60 plus. Hitting 70. Once again, finding it hard to tell the difference. Without path tracing, without ray reconstruction, without frame gen. You know, I'm just not seeing a lot of this ghosting. With the new presets, preset K was already fantastic. Already fantastic. Now, these cops are a lot smarter than they are in GTA. Oh, well, rip. That wasn't my fault. It feels like magic, man. I mean, I'm like up under this car's ass and I can't see any signs of upscaling. It's hard to tell. I would play like this. Very easy to do. Alright. Let's try DLAA one more time in the car. But again, I think this is 0 for 2 for DLAA. And I'm just thinking about it in the context of if this is a 5070 Ti, if I have a 5080, oh yeah, this is a no-go. Look at that latency. This is just not gonna happen. And you know what I will do for Cyberpunk? I will try 1440p. We'll try some 1440p to see if DLAA can save itself, because this is a fantastic 1440p card. But if we compare 1440p DLAA to 4K performance, I don't think that there's a chance in hell that anyone would say that 1440p native with DLAA looks better than... It's crazy. Upscaled 4K 1080p to 4K. It's It's miraculous, but it's true. But yeah, this is 30 FPS. I mean, it's juddery, it's jaggy. It doesn't feel responsive at all. You know, we are in the preset K, but it's just too intensive. It's just too intensive. Alright guys, here we are in Resident Evil 9. It's the most recent title that I currently own. Alright, so we are at a resolution of 2160p once again. I will be taking path tracing off. We'll be playing on normal ray tracing. Alright, but everything else is set to complete maximum settings. Everything's at high or at max. So what we're going to do is we are going to start with DLAA. No frame gen. We'll keep the NVIDIA reflex low latency on, no boost. I think that should be good. Yeah, those are our settings we're going to work with. So regular ray tracing, and if things get a little dicey, a little wonky, then we'll just turn ray tracing off. But I think that's fine. Definitely no path tracing in this one. All right, so here we are in Raccoon City. Pretty common story here. We got some stuttering. Now this is not Unreal Engine. This is the RE engine. Pretty good engine. I really like it. I really love how the character models look in this. But we're getting tons of stutters. We're barely getting above 40. We're basically in the 30s all the time. Then we can actually determine if the image quality is worth it. But this is just not even playable. I mean, it's not possible. We can try playing DLAA at 1440p and make that determination at 1440p. But I mean, we can see some of the textures here. But I'm probably just going to go straight to quality because this is a stuttery mess. We're actually able to sit right here at about low to mid 40s. And we can compare the textures here. Because once again, guys, I mean, image quality. This is all just not to dump on DLAA as if it's a bad as if it's a bad technology. I mean, it's really awesome that we get a new anti-aliasing method at native. So instead of just having the native TAA, which a lot of times doesn't look great, it looks blurry, you do have DLAA, which is supposed to sharpen the image and make it more crisp and more clear. DLAA at 4K, you know, without any ray trace or without any frame gen, maybe 60. But I guess time will tell in like 4 years after NVIDIA gets done with all their AI slot. But anyway, here's quality DLSS. And I think this game pretty much solidifies the difference or the non-existent difference between quality and DLAA. I mean, just look at that. The stuttering is completely gone. We're at 33, 34 latency, our milliseconds. I mean, it's, you know, the latency is perfect. Preset K is rocking and rolling. DLSS 4 still looks great. What is it, about a year old now? We've got preset L and M, which are the new kids on the block, but this looks phenomenal. This is great. With no path tracing and ray tracing on normal, I mean, this is a silky smooth experience. Silky, silky, silky smooth. And just looking back at these textures right here, I can't tell the difference between DLAA or quality. Again, this is upscaling from 1440p to 4K. It just looks so good. And again, I guess if you're really into that more sharpened look, you're gonna have an eye for DLAA. But I think the typical gamer who also doesn't have like some kind of a amazing monitor as well, and I am one of those people. I will say I have a really nice monitor. Even I'm not able to see the benefit of DLAA. You're just going to be dealing with all kinds of crazy stutter and bad frame pacing, and you know, we don't want any of that. I mean, even looking at Lian's face, this picture looks extraordinarily crisp. His hair is not aliasing in a weird way. It's not boiling. There's no haloing. There's no ghosting. Maybe slightly when you move back side to side. But if you're shooting zombies, you know, you're going to see over the shoulder, so you do get a lot of his hair. But Capcom made sure to make they made sure that his hair would stay you know, pretty stable as long as you have the appropriate hardware, which, you know, 5070 Ti, 5080, you know, should be able to handle this, and it absolutely does. Of course, we have good old, or my good friend, Performance DLSS. Let's put that on. Ignore balance because it's a waste of time. Okay. So this is the first game that okay, this is a problem. If you can look at the gun, that is that is a huge problem. I don't know if that's the new driver. I did not notice that before. That's bad. That is not on quality. Was it like the muzzle? The muzzle of the gun? Look at that. It's like clear. What the heck is that? Oh, this is a win for quality for sure. What happened? I don't know if it's because I just updated my driver. Okay, it looks better here. It looks like it's filled in. It looks like a oil. It looks like oil is in the gun. Turned here, it's all solid. Man, okay. I have never seen that. Now the hair on Lian, there might be some ghosting, but it looks great. The model looks fantastic. If you had to tell me if this is performance or if this is quality, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference. But that gun right there, oh yeah, that's some oil. That's some oil paint and stuff right there. Oh yeah. If that is filled in by quality. Yep. Ooh, I can actually see it a little bit. Maybe that's just a bug. It's not as bad on performance, but I can still see it. Yeah. It might be just a glitch on that gun. That gun might just be glitched out. No, I don't know. I can kind of see it on this one too, possibly. Now looking at this, if I'm looking at this now, I do think that quality does retain some better image quality than performance. I do think the RE engine just has such good character models. I think Lian looks a little bit more detailed. There's a little more detail in the wrinkles. It looks a little better than performance. It's a little bit softer. Just ever so slightly, if you're paying attention. Yeah, there's a little ghosting under the hair. I would say with the RE engine, quality is definitely worth it. Now the other side of the coin of that is that you're not getting over 80 FPS. So if I go over here, I'll fight some zombies really quick. All right, this is me in post. What you're about to see is some strange audio glitching, and I'm actually going to point out some visual glitches in just a moment in this video. Something must be wrong with the drivers that NVIDIA has. I downloaded the most recent drivers. Hopefully the drivers we're getting, or the new updated ones that we're going to be getting in the March 31st update, where we get dynamic frame gen, addresses some of these issues, or NVIDIA fixes some stuff. But I had some audio glitches with recording. I just want to let you guys know that. I don't think that... Throw that shit. Oh, wow. You suck. Oh shit, this guy's a problem. I think I might play at performance because, you know, you're not gonna drop. Because in certain situations, you're gonna be with explosions or, you know, rocket launchers or things that would happen, or chainsaws for sure. Yeah, I think that that playing at performance, just making sure you stay above that, like that 60 threshold, and I'm not convinced that you'll stay above it. Does that kill? Back. Okay, we still got a couple more. Alright, so we're in the upper 60s. Okay. See, look at that. We dropped below. And with big explosions and things like that, you know, you're gonna drop below, and that could impact things. It could. So I would say performance wins. I gotta take a look at this. I gotta see if this new driver just messed some stuff up. Like, I don't know. But yeah, once again, DLAA obviously is not an option here. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one, guys. Okay, I'm back here really quick. I was actually just finishing this level after I just recorded the previous footage, and there's definitely something wrong with this driver. I have the latest driver that was put on the NVIDIA app, I think a day ago, and yeah, you see that? That is wild. So yeah, this driver is cooked. I'm gonna have to roll it back. But for this to work with my NVIDIA recording, I had to update my driver. But I'm sure people are gonna talk about this. But yeah, that is crazy. That looks disgusting. I mean, I think that, yeah, it's all over the place actually. It's not, I wasn't just seeing things with my gun. Look, even on this gun, yeah, it's, you can, look, as soon as you go like this, you can see it. Oh my gosh, dude, that ruins the whole experience. NVIDIA's got some work to do, but yeah, we might, if you want to disregard the and Resident Evil Requiem results, then be my guest. I don't blame you, but yeah, that's the thing. So yeah. Alright guys, here we are in Arc Raiders, Unreal Engine 5 game. Pretty interested to see what happens here. Let's go to the settings really quick. As usual, display resolution 2160p 4K. We got our NVIDIA DLSS. Gonna put that bad boy on DLAA to start off. And you'll notice that I actually have RTX global illumination, that's ray tracing. We have that at static, so it's actually off. And I don't have everything on cinematic, but I have my custom preset graphics that I find that work the best for visuals and for performance. Basically, the visuals of the game look the same as cinematic. They're just optimized. They're my optimized settings. But we will turn on, oh no, I'm sorry. Oh, we actually did turn on ray tracing. So I actually put it on Epic Ray Tracing, and then we have my customized standard graphic settings. So that's the settings we actually have, and we're going to check out the gameplay here right now. So a little error on my part. I went back and looked at the footage, and I actually forgot that frame generation was enabled by default, so it's on auto. So that means that frame generation is actually engaged at 2x, so the frame rate you're seeing and the kind of performance you're seeing isn't native. However, I went back, turned off frame gen, did DLAA. The image quality looks basically the same. It looks great. The latency is extraordinarily good. Without frame gen, it's 5 to 10 milliseconds of a difference. It's actually extremely good. I would have gone back and redid all the tests and re-recorded it, but I don't think that the results that are going to be shown are going to change the perspective of the video. But yeah, that's just to give you a heads up there.
Structures with blue tarps and an antenna on top.
All right, good news. It's looking great. I think we have a winner, chat. Okay, we actually have a lot of, there's some glitches going on here, but fantastic performance. Let's just double check our settings here, because we had some weirdness going on earlier. I don't know what's going on. No frame gen, DLAA 4K transformer model, Epic global illumination, and I am on my optimized settings that I personally like. Now, this is actually extremely good. I'm actually really shocked. I don't know if there was a patch or something like that, but I'm actually really shocked that this is DLAA. I think this actually looks really sharp and really good. I actually think the sharpening in this is actually really good. The foliage, this is the best that the foliage has looked in any game. This looks better than Hogwarts Legacy. It looks better than Cyberpunk. a extraction multiplayer shooter. It's not supposed to have extraordinary graphics, and I don't think that this studio, Embark Studios, had nearly the budget that CD Projekt Red and Avalanche is the one that made Hogwarts Legacy, but this looks fantastic. And this is ray tracing all the way up. Now again, I could, if I maxed everything out to ultra, we'd probably be getting closer to like 70 FPS, but if you would have told me that this is ultra settings, I think that these settings look amazing. I'm actually shocked. I would play a DLAA. Chop it up. We have a winner. Anyway, even if we die, we die. We're here for a performance metric. I don't even know how to talk to people. I don't know my hotkeys here. Man, I'm astounded. This image quality is fantastic. I think Arc Raiders had a slight update or a patch update. I haven't played in probably about 2 months. Alright. Oh, hold on. That's not good. It's really dark, huh? Alright, before we go to quality, let's take this guy out maybe. And we'll be safe in here. Really interested to see how this goes. Ooh. I'm probably gonna die. These Arc are getting smart. Okay, definitely softer. We gained about 25 FPS, 30 FPS. That's that. Alright, so here we are with quality DLSS. This does look good, but I can tell. I can actually tell the difference in this game. It's softer, definitely softer. I have to be looking for it, but it definitely doesn't look as good. The sharpening that you get with DLAA in this title, and this is our first Unreal Engine 5 title, and the one of the few Unreal Engine 5 titles that actually doesn't stutter. You notice that in the other titles with DLAA, with Resident Evil 9, with Hogwarts Legacy, all those titles stuttered exponentially. No stutters. No frame gen. Oh, it's auto frame gen. Ooh, I made a oopsie. I made an oopsie. Okay. Now these frames make a lot more sense, but still, I could tell that. Oh yeah, I could tell the image quality difference. But that alone just tells you, oh, we're unbalanced. Hold on a second, I'm all jacked up. All right, so here we go. 66. Boom. Oh yeah, I can tell. This looks it looks better. Oh yeah, that's obvious. This is definitely worth it. And then with the frame gen on. All right, here we go. Now we're actually at native. All right. Yeah, it's not as snappy, but this is definitely playable. And the sharpening is perfect to my eye. I think this game just did a wonder class in the sharpening of DLAA. Whatever Embark Studios is doing with their DLAA and with their optimization in general, I think they need to hold a seminar with every other game developer. This is fantastic. Look, I'm here for the visuals. I'm not here to actually loot and get out of here alive. Wow. I'm really shocked. I came in here thinking DLAA had no shot. I have been proven wrong. Alright, we're in a personal favorite of mine, Stellar Blade. One of the best games to come out in 2024. Looking its best on PC, flexing its muscles. Alright, let's just double check some of my settings here, because we do have some personalized settings of mine. We are at 4K as usual. Target frame rate, we're actually going to go uncapped. I do not play in HDR. All right, DLSS 4. I believe the presets all work. 4.5 works on this one. All right, so we're on high. Let's see. So let's go to DLAA, and then I have my specific settings as well. Now I see you know there's low here, there's medium here, but I guarantee you it does not impact the visual quality. Visual quality looks basically the same with minimal performance impact. These are just my preferred settings to ensure that the game looks the best with performance, you know, maximized at its most. So that's what we got. But here we'll get right into it. All right, so here we are. Is this truly DLAA? Once again, another 100 plus DLAA experience. Now again, it could be that, you know, I'm not maxed out on my settings and whatnot, but I take a lot of time to kind of go into the settings and really retool everything to my liking. And I'm just not going to go in just to upgrade the settings and then lose like 20%, and then essentially the game doesn't look any better. I mean, from what I'm seeing, this looks perfectly fine. This, if you told somebody this was ultra, then they'd probably believe you. But anyway, 111 FPS, 4K, DLAA. Yeah, I mean, there's no reason not to play at this resolution. This is a game where, you know, if you're playing at 120 FPS, then that's going to be a great experience. You can flip on some frame gen, absolutely positively, for damn sure. I think this is a win for DLAA once again. I distinctly remember having some trouble with this game, getting it to work even with quality. I just did not turn on DLAA. I don't know if there was an update, but this is quite shocking. No frame gen, once again, no low latency. We could even turn that on a bit just to kind of see if we can get some latency performance back. We are having that Unreal Engine stuttering issues that we saw with Hogwarts Legacy. This is our second Unreal Engine 4 game, and we're seeing the same stutters. That's just Unreal Engine being Unreal Engine. Holy crap. I mean, let's go into some combat and see if that'll bring down our performance. But after playing this game for over 60 hours, I know that this will basically be what we're going to be seeing. We'll probably see in the 90s, you know, mid 80s. Once again, guys, DLAA. DLAA. We will switch over just to see if there's a difference in quality. Yeah, see, we're dropping in the low 80s. Absolutely fine for a game like this, and more importantly, the latency is at under 30, which is fantastic. Okay, Emil. Just running into me. I'm trying to see the character model looks great. Let's go to quality really quick. But look at our FPS. Our FPS massively jumped. So I think honestly you can go either way with this. I mean, you're talking quality, 4K, DLSS, and you could even throw on some frame gen if you wanted to and get well over 200 FPS. I mean, it's slightly softer. Just looking at it really quickly, the stuttering is gone now. I think the stuttering is just mainly in the town. And Shift Up and Embark Studios being absolute leaders and pioneers in PC ports. What monsters. Now, of course, this is Unreal Engine 4, so I guess it's a little bit less impressive than Arc Raiders. It's a lot, a lot more less impressive, but it's just as impressive in terms of the genre that it's going for. This hack and slash, it's super fast gameplay, and you know, I kind of want to amend that because look at that, look at the latency. Look at the latency. Even at a native, even without frame gen. I mean, if I turn on frame gen, I mean, what we're gonna get, like, you know, 35, maybe 40 milliseconds of latency, but over 200 FPS, and I don't even need to have 4 times frame gen. And in this game, 2 times frame gen looks really good. There's really no point for me to go to performance at all. Out of all the games we've shown today, this is the one I'm actually super familiar with. I've actually beaten this one. Yeah, and I think this one performs the best out of all of them in terms of just raw FPS. I mean, quality 150 FPS. You're not going to get anything better than that. I am curious, really quick though. Ultra performance, really quick. Let's just see. It looks so good. It looks insane. I mean, we're actually CPU bottleneck. Look at the GPU; it's at 84. We can't hit 200 FPS. There's no reason to do performance and ultra performance, and that probably means we'll be CPU bottlenecks on performance as well. And we're not even hitting we're not hitting above 96%. There's 97. Yeah, we're CPU bottlenecked. Flabbergasted once again. Flabbergasted, boys. Honestly, guys, if I didn't know my computer, I would have thought that someone swapped in a 5080. I just don't remember this game performing this well, especially when I first played it. Let's go back to DLAA really quickly again, just to make sure I wasn't dreaming. I don't know. I mean, you're definitely hitting under 100, and it's sharper. It's definitely sharper. There's a sharpness slider in this game as well. I think base sharpness. There's a base sharpness, and then there's an NVIDIA DLSS sharpness. So if I increase the sharpness, even on DLAA, can't really tell. I just increased it. And increasing the sharpness can improve like foliage, you know, get rid of that blurriness, especially in the distance. So DLAA already has like a nice little sharpness to it. It just makes the image sharp. And it's not upscaling anything, right? All right, we're here in Expedition 33, another Unreal Engine 5 game. Let's see how it fares. All right, a marvelous game from last year, 2025, game of the year. Over time, this game, I've really appreciated its visuals, for sure. Now, as a Unreal Engine 5 title, it definitely has its quirks, with all of its stuttering and things of that nature. But it is a looker. It's got the lumen effects and lighting and all of that, you know, good or bad stuff, whatever you feel about it. But anyway, let's go into the settings. All right, so everything's actually on Epic. It's on the ultra or, you know, highest preset. We are at DLAA, 100% resolution scale, and at 3840 by 2160p. Like I said, everything is on Epic. All graphics settings rendering is on Epic. We are on DLAA. So for that, you know, perfect native anti-aliasing with DLSS, we've got the sharpening. And just like I had mentioned earlier in the video, this is kind of what I expected to kind of see from most of the games. I've been pleasantly surprised by some of the results we've been getting. But yeah, here we're getting 30s. Now, is it great? It's a good image. I mean, there's that film grain, and you know, at the end of the day, this is still an indie game. But It goes blow for blow with AAA titles, but it's this is fine. This is a fine way to play. This is a turn-based Japanese RPG. This is just the overworld. You're not doing any kind of fast-paced fighting in this game. It's all turn-based. So if you want the highest visuals, yeah, sure, this is great. But this is definitely not how I would choose to play. And the most intensive spot, or one of the most intensive spots in this game, is the camp. And if I go to the camp, I already know the game's gonna break down for sure. There's another like weird glitch. Like, see how the fire's going through Verso's head? I really think that this patch, there's a really big problem with this patch. Not the patch, I'm sorry, the driver, the NVIDIA driver. I mean, look at that. What the heck is that? I've never seen that before. These NVIDIA drivers have been piss poor lately, huh? So anyway, here. Now we're definitely under 30. We're barely hitting 30, rarely hitting 30. Over here, if you look over here, we're getting into mid-40s. So this is the best situation you're gonna get. Probably something like this. Yeah, 55. I mean, there's a chance to hit 60 if you're just looking up or looking directly down at the ground. But as soon as there's any foliage or fire or, lots of characters on screen, it's going to break down under 30. And I'm trying to get a feel for the image quality, because once again, that is what we're trying to take a look at in this video. I mean, yeah, the sharpness, it does look good in this game. It does look, the foliage specifically, it's sharp, it's crisp, it does look good. And I want to take a look at this fire, because like I said, this is one of the most intensive parts of the game when you're actually in the camp, when there's nothing going on. In battles is actually very stable and you're gonna get pretty good frame rate. But like right here, we don't really have to move. We're getting 30. And the latency is already super high at 60. Yeah. The game looks almost identical. The foliage a little softer possibly, but again, I'm looking for it. I'm just running around like this, kind of my eyes in the center of the screen. Can't really notice too much. This looks like DLAA to me. Maybe a little ghosting around the hair. This game has just innate like particle effects around the hair. The way it renders hair in the game with Unreal Engine 5, you're gonna get like a shimmering effect. You see that even in DLAA. It doesn't go away. There's no way to completely sharpen the hair. So you're gonna see some like follicles and particles kind of coming off the hair, off everyone, especially the females in the game. The girls, they have long flowing hair, where Verso's shorter male hair character. But like Mael's, her ponytail, there's gonna be some shimmering. But even then, there's some strands that are a little bit that are a little artifacty. But even then, if you're not looking for it and you're just like, wow, that hair looks pretty damn good on quality, 1440p, upscale to 4K. So once again, I mean, if you have a 5090, absolutely throw that DLAA on, but you need it? Does it? I'd like to see maybe some kind of improvement to DLAA in this game. I mean, we saw from Arc Raiders, the foliage in that game looks a lot better than this game. It's even on DLAA. Let me go back to DLAA really quickly, because I do have Arc Raiders on my mind, because that blew my mind how good DLAA was. Because I could tell the difference between the sharpening on DLAA and quality, and the textures of the foliage specifically in Arc Raiders, and there's a lot of foliage in Arc Raiders, and there's a lot of foliage in this game. Really good comparison tests. I'd say, yeah, I mean, the foliage doesn't look as good in this game as it does in Arc Raiders, but regardless, compared to quality and DLAA in this game, it's not really a big difference, but those stutters make a big difference. That fat stutter we just had, that makes a huge difference. Quality. It's slightly softer. You can't really tell. There's no point to playing on DLAA with this. No point. No point. And I will say, getting 50 some FPS in this area is not a big deal. So quality, I would totally play on, because you're going to get much more FPS in 90% of the game environments in this game. So performance, bam, you're going to get over 60, even in this area. Run over here. I'm looking at this foliage here in more of like a lighter scene. The foliage that's farther away is definitely, it's definitely less detailed. But then once you walk up to it, it looks fine. It looks great. If you're not constantly thinking about being in performance mode and not being in DLAA, then you're just not going to notice it. Like, sometimes we just got to play the game and have fun, you know what I'm saying? Alright, so here we are in a battle. We're still on performance DLSS. If we take a look at this, now we're getting over 70. Like high 60s, 70s, and you can easily optimize this. I just have the settings at max because I actually use FrameGen with this game. I don't suggest FrameGen ×4. Actually, I do use FrameGen ×4. That's a lie. That is a complete lie. I use FrameGen ×4, but I would use quality ×4, and you can get close to 200 FPS. And to be honest, the extra ghosting and whatnot, that doesn't bother me too much. But if you see, okay, there's a little warping there. I don't know, that's probably the mod. That might be the mod, so I'd ignore that on Lune. But around her, all the textures of her hair and everything on performance, it looks fantastic. There's really not any breakup of her hair at all, if you're looking at that specifically. Let's look at another character that doesn't have isn't modded. So Maya, perfect example here. There's performance, and more than likely with a game like this, you know, if you look at the hair, that's where you're going to notice the difference between performance, DLAA, and quality. Yeah, it's not as soft. I mean, you're going to prefer that, but now you're back at 30 FPS. I mean, this isn't how you want to play. This is not smooth at all. Latency is out of control. Yeah, you just got your FPS cut in half. I don't see a difference. I don't see a difference. I'd say maybe the texture on the clothes is a little softer. Besides that, if I'm not paying attention to it, I would never notice. But I'll definitely notice that 70 FPS. This is a different game now. How smooth it is. DLAA in this game, no sense. No sense in using it. Let's go back to quality one more time. Yeah, DLAA is one of those things for most games. If you've got a 5090, then go wild. Go buck crazy. Go buck wild. Go crazy. Have a great time. You spent the money for it. You earned that money, so, or at least I hope you did. You weren't selling drugs or something, but yeah, I'll play at quality all day long, man. All day long. Aside from the outliers, this is the way to play. There's nothing else to say about it. Alright guys, thank you very much. That was the video. I appreciate you guys checking it out. I know it's a long one. If you actually watched the whole thing, you're an absolute legend. I can't believe someone would actually sit there and watch and listen to my voice for that long. Really appreciate that. If you could drop a subscribe, that would be amazing. We've hit over 100 subscribers on the channel. I live stream on YouTube and on Rumble. Live stream a lot of Japanese RPGs and some other games of the sort. So if you would like more content on the channel, I'll be definitely doing more benchmarking and other things like that. I love doing playthroughs. I love doing tech videos. So like I said, thank you so much, guys. You guys have a great rest of your day. Appreciate you.